Bam! What's up, everybody? This is Mike Alvarez coming back to you with another video. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Sean. This is not Mike Alvarez. I'm trying to do a Mike Alvarez impersonation. You know what somebody needs to do? Is do a parody of all the security channels out there. And for some reason, I want to mess with my good friend Damien from the Security Guard channel. He's the guy that I want to just do a parody on. But somebody needs to do parodies on all the security channels. Oh, jeez. Hey guys, I just got off of work. I'm trying to get rid of this cough that will never go away. Pulled a 12-hour shift. I want to talk about friendly fire in the wonderful world of private security. You guys, also, if you are not a member, I highly recommend that you sign up for the Sergeant package. It's basically a YouTube membership where you get to see a lot of other videos that are not yet put out on the public portion of my YouTube channel. Usually I'll put a video on the on that channel 2 to 4 weeks before I put it on my public channel. And also, this is just a way of me being able to put content out there and be fairly compensated for it. YouTube has been just on a rampage when it comes down to monetizing or demonetizing my videos. The two videos that I complained about yesterday, they authorized them today. So I don't know if it was you guys that had something to do with it, if it was just me, or somehow I passed the YouTube algorithm somehow. I don't even know what to say. Anyhow, hey guys, in today's video, we are going to be talking about friendly fire. Friendly fire. There's no reason right now to have the screen on, or to have your screen visible. I'm sure you're probably using your cell phone. If you're using a computer, there's no reason to look at the screen. Everything is just going to be audio. So when you talk about friendly fire, I was reading an article today, and a 21-year-old deputy, his name is Lane, Deputy Lane, lost his life in the line of duty in Polk County, Florida, due to friendly fire. He was only 21 years old. What bothers me is that he probably had about 1 year of experience, probably less. He's probably so excited to go to this warrant service. It looked like that there was a group or a team of sheriff's deputies that were serving a narcotic warrant somewhere in Polk County. And I could tell you, as a young officer, he was probably so excited to join in on that operation for just being so young and having the trust of his team members. Tragedy struck. One of his team members, what ended up happening was the suspect pulled out a BB gun, and it looked like two deputies responded with shots fired. They accidentally, unintentionally hit their partner, Deputy Polk, and as a result, he succumbed to his injuries. What a loss for Polk County, Florida. I grieve with his family. I grieve with this gentleman's department. This is just sad. But let's talk about some takeaways. Guys, we can use what happened as a lesson to be learned in private security. This is what I do in private security. Try to understand what is your area of responsibility. So friendly fire obviously happens when you're working with a partner or with somebody who is on your team or on your side. That's where a friendly fire casualty occurs. And what you want to do is figure out what is your area of responsibility. So if I see a suspicious person that is in front of 7-Eleven, and this is part of my post, 7-Eleven is part of my post, part of the contract, and this person is directly in front, well, my line of fire, my line of sight is going to be directly in front of 7-Eleven. If something happens, then I should be one of the first officers to address the threat. That's my area of responsibilities. Meanwhile, depending on where you work, you want to have a backup officer. If you do have a backup officer, that officer a lot of times will be positioned to the opposite. So if one person is facing 7-Eleven, obviously depending on the call, another person will be facing away from 7-Eleven, maybe looking into the parking lot, looking for additional threats. That's how I like to do things. Now, if you're inspecting a hallway or a room, usually you have an area of responsibilities. Maybe you have the number 1 corner, the number 2 corner, number 3 corner, number 4. Maybe you have quadrant number 1 and quadrant number 2, and your partner has quadrant number 3 or quadrant number 4, or the area on the right, the area on the left. But when you work with partners, you should take care of your area of responsibilities. And this is the problem that I have. So the team that I work with right now, they would go to hell and back for me, and I trust them with my life. I know that if their job is to provide security at a hallway or a room, then they're going to do nothing but that. If their job is to clear a room, watch a room while I clear a room, they're going to do just that. But there's some people that I work with that I don't even trust. That I know that if something happened, number 1, that they would miss. Number 2, they wouldn't react fast enough. And with these situations, what ends up happening is you don't depend on your partner. So I'm pretty sure, obviously I wasn't there, but I would assume that this group of deputies were probably in what's called a stack. Basically, they stack up in back of each other. There's one guy all the way in the front, and then all the way, and there's a guy all the way in the back. If you've ever seen a centipede or a caterpillar, the point man is the head of the centipede or caterpillar, and then the rear, which is usually security, is all the way to the back, like the tail of the caterpillar or the centipede. And with centipedes, well, usually with centipedes and caterpillars, you have scales, and each scale represents an officer or a deputy. So they're probably on the stack, and when they're clearing a room or the house or a doorway, the third person or the second person doesn't believe that the first person is going to react in time, and that's really common. So you don't put all your trust into number 1 or number 2. So if the number 2 guy doesn't trust the number 1 guy, the number 2 guy will start firing or returning fire. Obviously, it depends on your area of responsibility, but see, you guys see, when you're clearing a room or area, 2 people should not normally have the same area of responsibility. Okay, one person gets the front, one person gets another side, and one person gets the back, but everybody is assigned a different area during a building search or an area search for these reasons, for these friendly fire situations. So the guy in the middle might think, hey, the number 1 guy or number 2 guy is not going to return fire in time. They're incompetent. I, therefore, better do something. So if I'm number 3 and number 4, if I start firing, there's a good chance I'm going to hit number 1 or number 2. And that's a huge void that I see in law enforcement, huge void that I see in private security. Something that you might want to practice if you work with a supervisor or a partner is use an L-shaped formation when you contact somebody. So when you contact somebody would stand in front of the person and another would stand to the side. Therefore, if this person pulls a weapon, the person that's in front of this subject is not going to fire directly in the path of the partner because the partner's off to the side. You can also use what's called a V formation, where at the end of the V is an officer standing. So when we contact people, we're normally not stacked up unless we're searching a building, a house. But in an open area, I highly recommend that you offset somebody to the left and offset somebody to the right. It's kind of hard if I explain. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm referring to. If you don't, please let me know in the comments. If you do understand, please let me know that you understand. So let me just say this one more time. In a V-shaped formation, when you're contacting somebody that is not in a building or a confined area, there's going to be somebody offset to the left and somebody offset to the right, kind of like at an angle, kind of like you're forming a V shape, and the subject is part of that V shape. You'll be a lot more safer if you contact people in that fashion. So please, every time you contact somebody, ask yourself, hey, if I get into a shooting, where are my bullets going to impact? Just don't think they're going to impact the subject. Think about what is beyond the subject as well. And think that every encounter, you guys, always think, hey, this could be a life and death situation until somebody proves me otherwise. Now, obviously, don't do that every single time. It just depends on the factor. You do that every single time, you're going to be running in condition orange. Also, please make sure that you guys are listening to your sixth sense. Make sure that you're listening to your intuition. I almost got shot in a friendly fire situation. I was chasing somebody that was wanted for something, and there was friendlies on the other side, and I had the biggest feeling, just some like sickness that I felt in my stomach, that something was going to go bad. So what I did is I ducked down in my patrol car because I just knew that bullets were going to start flying. And what do you know what happened? About somewhere between 30 to 40 rounds somewhere in my direction, guys. Like I could have actually got hit. And this is all by so-called friendly fire. Not good. Not good. Listen to that instinct of yours, please. You know what your thoughts are. If you have any tips, suggestions, comments, always looking for a dialogue. You guys, please, all be safe. Thank you.